Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Papa Joe Show, where Papa Joe knows. I am your host, Papa Joe. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me to have you all here, and I really do appreciate it. Sorry, I kind of sound stuffy and whatnot. I'm having some really rough allergies, even though it's raining outside. I don't really know what's going on. So, fun stuff. Anyways, so I will frequently mute and stuff like that as I sneeze and all that fun stuff. So, just giving you a heads up for that. So, anyhow. You all have, I hope, had a marvelous morning, a good day so far. It has been an interesting one for me, to say the least. I have been digging through multiple things at work, trying to learn some new things there as well. And that's been a very fun experience so far for me. So, anyways, first things first, if you all like the content, smash the likes. It helps the algorithms find other people who are looking for similar types of content. If you are interested in hearing what I have to say in an unfiltered manner, more from a truthful standpoint, not that I'm not telling the truth here, it's more just there are certain things I can't say here. I have a Patreon show. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen and linked in the description of the channel. That is $5 a month. I have to have a paywall, unfortunately, because that is the only way that I have found so far to get the video content correctly set up for you guys without it necessarily being pulled offline. Let's put it that way. And then that is every day at 4:30 Eastern. As long as nothing happens at my job or at home or anything like that. At the end of the day, sometimes things happen, and we all know that, right? So you just have to kind of roll with it. But those of you who are in there, thank you. It genuinely means a lot to me. I didn't realize how much people would want that kind of content. So I do that just for you guys. So, anyways, digress on that. Also, just to toss out Crypto Confidential, check it out. It's linked in the description of the channel and scrolling on the bottom of the screen. It is a crypto related newsletter. Very, very good content. Highly recommend it. So, anyways, with that, I'm going to go ahead and scroll through the chat here if it will work for me. Let's see here. Oh, no, it's not. There it goes. Stupid thing. All right. Good morning, Tom. How are you doing, brother? Thanks for being here, man. As always, really means a lot to me. Jim, good morning. Bitcoin Manager Jim, thanks for being here, man. How are you today? Let's see. We got Daddy-O in the house. Good morning. Thanks for popping in. Crypto Disposition, good morning. How are you? What's going on? Bitcoin Bull, how's it going, brother? Nice thing about being stoned in is I can join the show and on time instead of trying to squeeze it in. Thanks, dude. It means a lot. Really do appreciate it. Good morning. How are you? Hopefully you guys are staying warm up there. Let's see. What do we have here? We got Kim. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Tom, how are you doing, my friend? Good morning, sir. How are you today? Let's see who else we got here. Steven, good morning. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you being here. Let's see who else do we got in here. We got Dibby Daddy. Good morning. I'm fine, man. It's just major congestion. It just won't go away. I don't feel sick or anything. It's just like sneezing my head off, and all of a sudden it's like blockage. But thanks, you appreciate it very much. Good morning, by the way. Good morning. Who else we got in here? I think that's it, everyone, so far. But yeah, if you're watching live, hop in the live chat. There's a great conversation that happens, for the most part, for everyone in there. And we typically have a good time talking here as well. So, anyhow, so as it title of this talks about, there's some interesting news we're going to get into towards the end of the show here, but I think you'll all like it a lot. It's very, very interesting information. And I did put it out on Twitter and other social platforms as soon as I found it. I want to give you all my take on it and what I'm thinking around what's taking place with that. So some of you may have seen these articles, some of you have heard about it already, and that's great, fantastic. It means you're paying attention. But at the same time, it is I have some thoughts around it too, so I was gonna want to talk about it for you guys. Anyhow, so you have what, Tom? Interesting. Emergency alert for your county. We're told to stay in and don't drive on the roads. Fun time. where you are and here and other places, they just we don't have the equipment that everyone does up north to clear the roads and things like that. So when we get snow and ice, like where you are right now, the city shuts down, just gone. No one drives, nothing. So stay warm. Those of you who are impacted by the snow, stay warm. It's supposed to get really cold tonight. So hopefully you all, your pets, etc., are doing well and staying warm. So with that, let's jump into a couple of things I kind of wanted to talk about prior to getting to this news because, well, it's kind of goes along with the story, the painting, the art, whatever you want to call it, that I've been trying to paint here on the show or to describe here on the show, the discussion and the content and things that are happening here. So yesterday, if you guys weren't paying attention to the overall stock market, PayPal fell off a cliff. PayPal fell off a cliff for I haven't found a reason yet why. It went down. I got a notification that it went down like 25% when I woke up yesterday, and I'm sitting here going, for PayPal, that's a lot. So kind of made me scratch my head and go, wait a minute, what's going on? So today, PayPal warns that consumer spending is about to fall sharply. And the reasoning isn't wrong. And this is what I think is very, very, very true and what's about to happen. Now, the hunger disease, the new version of that hunger disease, inflation, and a lack of government stimulus, oh boy, have some Venmo users nervous about spending money from their digital wallets. Actually, it's not why they don't want to spend the money out of their wallets, because they're going to report $600 or more. And most people use that kind of stuff, especially younger crowds, use those types of platforms to pay bills or to refund people for things that they buy for them. Hey, grab me that concert ticket, I'll send you a Venmo. Grab me that plane ticket, I'll send you a Venmo. Or help split dinner or something like that. Then they get reported. That's what they're doing with it. But anyways, I digress. That's bad news for Venmo owner PayPal and the potential warning signs of consumer spending in general. Now, they go on to a couple of different things here, but they did talk about the 25% plunge yesterday as well. But rising prices coupled with continued worries about the broader economy have weighed on consumer confidence lately. Even though wages continue to rise at a healthy clip, some consumers may simply be tapped out. And that is what the problem is. People have to eat. People have to pay their card notes if they have them. They have to pay their home through lodging, whatever it is. They have to pay bills. So the consumer spending, the excess residual type spending, that doesn't happen. They got to put food on the table. They got to have water in the pipes. They got to have a roof over their head. They got to have lights on in the house. It doesn't work if life doesn't really work well, especially if you have a family, if that type of stuff goes away. So when you have the rising prices and the inflation, people aren't going to spend their money on stuff. And they're calling, everyone's thinking it, and they're just saying, I'm saying it. Everyone's thinking it, and I'm just saying it. PayPal's finally saying something about it. They're not wrong. I hope everyone understands this stuff. They're not wrong. You've got the stuff happening up north with all of the truckers. You've got all the stuff taking place with that. You've got all they're starting to do that kind of stuff here. Just to understand, please, that we are going to start seeing a very, very big, we're already seeing a big disruption and stuff. Local stores here typically aren't really, down here in the South, we don't really see too many shelves that typically do it, because we've got ports, we've got rail, we've got all that stuff to bring stuff in here. It's just a wee bit different now that the trucks aren't hauling as much either, so it's a little bit different. So anyways, keep an eye on this, please, because at the end of the day, this is seriously going to affect every single person, even people who are writing the laws who shouldn't be writing the laws. Man, I love that coffee. And by the way, to my beautiful wife who's watching this, thank you for bringing that to me a minute ago. I didn't have time between back-to-back meetings this morning, coming over here and getting prepared for the show, and then I didn't have time to go get more coffee, and I really needed it this morning. I was up very late last night working on some stuff, trying to finalize a few things, and did not get in bed till very, very late, wee hours of the morning, if you will. Just gotta make it work, right? Gotta make it work. Don't usually go to bed until 2, 3 o'clock usually in the morning. And it's just kind of what has to happen right now for some of the things I'm working on. So it is what it is. And sometimes I just really need a little extra coffee. But anyways, I digress. So I'm bringing this up because our Federal Reserve, which is our central bank, did not raise the rates. The European Central Bank did not raise the rates. I wonder why that is. Oh, wait, who said that? Who said that? I think that was Papa Joe, wasn't it? Papa Joe. Anyways, I'm teasing, guys. I've been saying they either will not raise the rates or everything will fall apart, or both. Here's the deal. If they raise the rates, it collapses everything, creates a debt problem. If they don't raise the rates, they're going to prolong this thing that they've got going on, maybe a few extra months, and then it'll collapse on its own. They're just kicking the can down the road as far as they possibly can before it gets crushed by the car. The oncoming semi, let's call it. What would it be? A semi or a tank? What's heavier? Probably a tank. The oncoming tank flying at what is it? 75 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour with the Abrams. How fast do they go? Anyone know that kind of information in the chat? Pop it in there. But yeah, you have a massive tank rolling at you, flying down the road. That you kick that can, it's going to be flattened and probably picked up by that tank in the treads, the tracks, rolling down the road. That's what's coming. That's a good analogy and mental picture that I have about how this is going to. They either do it now and like put the can under the track and just let it go, or with raising the rates, or they kick it down the road, let the stupid thing run over it, and hopefully something will happen. Oh, brother. It's going to get very interesting. While the bank says the higher inflation will fade throughout the year, how? Many economists are wondering whether consumer prices will remain high for much longer. The latest decision comes as market participants have started pricing in the chances of 2 rate hikes by the ECB this year. No, they're literally just kicking it down the road. The reason being is like I said, if they do it now, everything implodes. If they kick it down the road, it's going to implode later, but it's going to implode. There's nothing they can do about it. So I wanted to bring this up for you all today. The breaking news that we're going to talk about is, well, there's two actually. I found another little interesting tidbit right before the show. I was like, oh, that's going to be fun to talk about. And that is a bipartisan bill to eliminate taxes for small Bitcoin transactions. The proposed legislation seeks to reduce friction in the usage of Bitcoin as daily currency. That's a big deal. Although it's a start in the right direction, it's not quite what I would have hoped for or thought of. And I haven't read the legislation yet myself. I will shortly in a little while. But a bipartisan bill introduced Thursday to today would exempt Bitcoin transactions from tax obligations if the associated capital gains are $200 or less, seeking to incentivize the digital currency's usage in a medium of an exchange in the U.S. economy. Adoption, people. Here we go. The thing is, though, this is one of those you can't beat them, join them situations. Who's paying? If you're paying, not tax advice, okay, not financial advice, not legal advice. Realistically, How in the world do you pay taxes on buying a cup of coffee? You're paying a sales tax already, so you're going to pay capital gains taxes on $5-6. So you're going to pay 30% extra or whatever it is for that? Really? I mean, every single time you go and buy something with it? People are doing it whether, I mean, I personally have not done anything like that, and since they came up with all these rules, I just kind of went, okay, I'm going to go into a holding pattern and hold off on doing anything like that until they realize they can't do any of this. But on a day-to-day basis, there are thousands and millions of people who take their crypto and they spend it at coffee shops and or restaurants or places that accept crypto as payment for this kind of stuff. You got to understand, how in the crap do you do that? I mean, who keeps track of that stuff? How do you even keep track of it? Realistically, is it even possible? Sure, you have a transaction history you could probably go and pour through and all that fun stuff. And you can get in here and have these different things. I mean, come on. They think you're going to go and pay attention to all the different things that you spend your money on like that. You're going to go and do all this extra paperwork just to say that you're going to, I'm going to be a good old boy and I'm going to tell on myself and I'm going to let everyone know that I spent $6 at this coffee shop, $12 on lunch, and I'm going to pay the capital gains taxes and all those things. I'm sure there's like 5 people in the world who maybe did that. And then probably did it one time, like for one thing, and then never did it again because of how much of a pain in the butt it is. And they're probably, and this is why this join or die thing or can't beat them, join them kind of situations where they're going, no one's doing this. What do we do? How do we make this work? So they're gonna give you permission to spend up to $200 without in a single transaction without having to worry about capital gains. People, we're not children. This isn't how this works. Most of my followers on a regular basis, you understand. I've discussed it. I've really discussed it in my Patreon. Who owns the central banks? Who are we actually indebted to? Where do your taxes actually go? I've mentioned where they go. I've talked about it. I've left the little tidbits and the seeds there, if you will, for you guys to go look into those things. You go look and do your own research. If you find something I said wrong, tell me. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to mislead anyone. I've looked at the history. I've looked at how it was set up and come to the conclusion, oh, wait a minute. Interesting. Steve Terrell, that is a good, interesting question here. I'm going to bring it up here. Tyrell, excuse me, I apologize. What about capital losses? Quite frankly, if you're outside of the monetary system, the banking system, technically then therefore out of the taxation system, why does it matter? Just use your crypto as it is. It shouldn't matter. They shouldn't have their grummy fingers or trying to get their grummy fingers on the taxable income here. And it's one of those things is like, I don't know. I don't, if you're outside of the system, be outside of the system. If you're in both systems, you got to figure out how to, if you're outside of it, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If that's what I'm trying to get at. Everyone in crypto, everyone who's into Bitcoin, and if they're fully only in that, and they're only spending crypto, and they make crypto and they spend crypto, there's no real tax liability that I have found, legally speaking, because it all has to somehow go back to a US dollar. And then at that point, that's when they are like, gotcha, kind of thing. No, I don't know. I'm not trying to give you guys tax advice here, and I am not a tax advisor. These are just thoughts, thinking out loud right now. These are ideas. Maybe go dig into them. There are things that I've looked into with this stuff that if you're outside of the banking system and you're outside of this tax system, if you're outside of the entire monetary system as it is today, how in the world are they really going to do anything, realistically speaking? Why care about capital loss if you're not? You understand? Like, that's just kind of the why. Why care? Why does it matter? It shouldn't matter. Here you go, Daddy. That's another good point. Just think about the swaps you have to do to just get some of those coins. Yeah, there's that too. Swapping the coins. People do that. I try to figure out how to just obtain the coin directly so I don't have to deal with that or have that kind of stuff personally. Just like I said, once all this stuff started hitting, there's a gap here. Everything was net new from a technology perspective, and no one cared. Now they care, and they're not going to care in the future. During this time where they care, I'm purposely being careful with what I do personally. So that's really, 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 yes, Bitcoin bull. That is very, very true. Very, very true. I'm going to just let people read that on their own. I'm not going to say it on the show here, but yes, it's very true. We'll talk about something maybe that's a Patreon discussion type of thing. Anyways, let's see here. Currently, any gain obtained from a sale of cryptocurrency must be reported as taxable income, regardless of the size or purpose of the transaction. That is the way they were like, everything you do is taxable. They're trying to discourage anyone from doing anything about it. The thing is when people realize that it's outside of their control, not outside of their system, they go, wait a minute. I don't have to tell you anything, technically. Again, not advice. Do your own research, please. Not trying to stir the pot, but this is where we're going for what it's worth. We're going to the point. We will end up to the point with cryptocurrency as a whole where they're going to say, going to throw their hands up. They're going to say they're going to join or they're going to die. They're going. It's not literally physically. The antiquated system. All right. Antiquated regulations around virtual currencies do not take into account its potential use for daily lives. For our daily lives, instead of treating it more like a stock or an ETF, said Representative Susan Dalbane, whatever, co-author of the bill, in a statement in Bitcoin Magazine. However, virtual currency has evolved rapidly in the past few years and with more opportunities to use it in our everyday lives. This common sense bill cuts the red tape, opens the door for further innovations, and ultimately growing our digital economy. Just put it into perspective. There wasn't the fact that they think that there's red tape in the first place is hilarious. The fact that they think that they could do anything in the first place is hilarious. They don't get what blockchain technology is if they're saying this stuff. Someone needs to properly educate these people on how this stuff works. Realistically speaking, this is how these people need to understand this stuff, and they need to understand how this works. Cryptocurrency is technology first. It is then cash second. You don't pay taxes on trading currencies. You don't pay taxes on taking cash that you were paid and using it. You don't pay taxes in a transactional state other than sales tax if you have sales tax. You don't pay capital gains taxes, what I'm getting at, on stuff like that. Second, it's cash. Third, then it can be looked at as a tradable type of a thing. It's just the way it works. Bitcoin Bull. What's the name of that book? Jekyll something Island. I read it years ago and wanted to read it again. So it's The Creature from Jekyll Island. The author is G. Edward Griffin. Yes, Divvy Daddy. I'm about to talk about that right here. Blink. In a win for stakers, the IRS offers refund on untraded token rewards. Boom. Exactly. It is going to be massive. In a decision to refund a Nashville couple taxes related to unsold Tezo token is set to clarify the IRS tax statement of staked cryptocurrencies. In a win for cryptocurrency stakers and miners, the IRS has offered to refund. They offered to refund the crypt couple's taxes paid on rewards gained, but not redeemed. Right. So previously, you had to report that you made all these rewards until you sold them for US dollars. You had to still pay taxes on what you were created. And I had read this. There's a lawsuit. This couple, they sued the IRS. They sued the IRS. Basically, and they had a team of lawyers behind them. It wasn't just one lawyer who thought they could win the case. They had a whole team of lawyers who were like, yeah, I like this one. The reason they did that is because a farmer who farms wheat or pork or cattle or whatever, beef, they don't pay taxes on the production of what they're doing. They don't pay taxes on the wheat until it's sold, and then it comes in as income, not capital gains, income to the farmer. It's very different. So you can create all the residual income in these staking environments like Divi, like Polygon, Matic, like Persistence is another one, like Axie Infinity. You can make all these different things, but until you turn it into US dollars is basically, or I guess trading it for another crypto, which is still stupid in and of itself. It doesn't make sense. You're like kind trading at that point. It's like asset trading, which is another thing in the IRS. You don't technically pay taxes on for that anyways. Just to put it in perspective, they went to the IRS, sued them, and said, we're farming crypto. You can't tax us until it's USD. That's basically their the juxtaposition or the background of the court case. So they won effectively. Now the thing is, though, in Dippy Daddy, dude, get on board with the case. Go for it. Get on board. I would love to see you get all that back. That would be beautiful. I would love that. I'm sure you do like it so much. Oh man. So to put this into a little more perspective, this article kind of goes into a couple different things, but this article, which I think actually, so I found this one and then Divvy Daddy found this one and we both shared it at the same time in another private chat. And it was funny. We basically same time put the thing on there. That was funny. Anyways, in the, let's see, down here in the where was it? Taxes paid when such property is sold and exchanged, but no. Tax is paid when such property is sold or exchanged, but not when it is created. The origination or the organization said in a statement. The same can be said staking rewards. Newly created tokens are property, not income. They should be taxed accordingly. And the IRS decided to change that correctly. Oh, dude. I stopped mining a long time before you did. If I had kept up with it, yeah, I'd be like, hey, we need to get on this lawsuit. Oh, dude. Hopefully it's retroactive. Technically, I think it should be, personally. It should be. Where there was another thing I wanted to point out in here. Hang on. Excuse me. Sorry about that. This is really, 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 really interesting thing here. This is what I wanted to point out. This part right here. Until the case receives an official ruling from the court, there will be nothing to prevent the IRS from challenging me again on this issue. I need a better answer, so I refuse the government's offer to pay me my refund. Joshua Jarrett explained in a statement attached with letters from his attorney and the Department of Justice. So, Dippy Daddy, I hope you enjoy your payday when you get that, because that's got interest attached to it too. That's going to be beautiful. Yeah. So this was back before. Yes, exactly. So I saw this come up. Like I saw the article where this couple was going at it against the IRS, and I shared it with some other close friends of mine. And they're like, yeah, that won't last. That never goes anywhere. I was like, actually, they really have a leg to stand on because of what it really is. They wouldn't have had the lawyers and even the Justice Department dealing with them, working with them on this. And now here we are, a couple years, I guess about a year later or so. Here we are. They've been successful, but this guy's like, no, I want this permanently set up. And he's not doing this. He's not doing it just for him. This will be a precedence set up for everyone who stakes, for everyone who mines, that until it's turned into USD or traded for another coin, which that part is stupid because it's it's like you know what a wash sale is? No, it's not a wash sale. What's it called? There's a form you can fill out when you sell a house and that you're going to take the proceeds of selling that house to buy another house. It's I forget the specific terms or what the form is called in particular, but you basically fill that form out. It's to avoid the capital gains that you may receive. Like if you did it, if you own the home for 2 years and then you sell it, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, the wash rule. Thank you, David A. If you take the proceeds from one asset and put it into another asset, you don't pay capital. Yes. 1031 exchange. Thank you, crypto disposition. That's what it's called. You fill that out and it's like kind assets, so you don't pay capital gains. The whole crypto to crypto exchange crap, someone needs to go against the IRS for that one too, because trading a crypto for another crypto, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. It should be a non-taxable event, but they're calling it a taxable event. Just my opinion. Anyone who's got maybe these guys can go after that too, right? The point is they're setting a precedence here for anyone and everyone who goes in and they make returns from staking or they make returns from mining. They should not be taxed until it is turned into crypto. And then at that point, when it's turned into crypto, it should be considered income and not capital gains, because you are creating a product, then putting it back into the market, receiving a payment for doing so. Just like a farmer grows wheat, harvests that wheat, then sell that wheat, that farmer then would have a business taxable event where that business would then have an income that it would either use as expenses in the business or use to pay its employees. At that point, it is just an income related taxable event, not capital gains. So basically, this is a big deal. David Daddy's pointing out, I am not kidding. This is a huge deal. And the fact that he is coming out here and stating that he refused the refund, he refused the deal. Basically, they tried to shut him up effectively. He's like, no, this needs to be permanent. I love it that he's doing this. And his lawyers are behind him for this. This is amazing. Right, David Daddy, I'll go ahead and put that up there. As I say on my show every day, there's a legal disclaimer in my description of every one of my videos. This is not tax advice. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is for entertainment and or educational purposes only. Now you are educated. This is happening. Go do your research and follow along. Anyways, it's been a crazy day. This news was huge for me. When I found it yesterday, it's like, boom, wow, that's huge. The Bitcoin Bull, you are very welcome, sir. Loaded, important show today. PAPAJO, thank you. Davey Daddy, thanks for reminding me that I had that tab open. I was squirreling. So, anyways, you guys, this is really big. This is a big deal. This is important. This is what we need to push for. And just remember that the IRS is basically the collection agency for the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank, and the IRS is technically a privately owned company, not part of the government at all. Just saying. Oh, anyways. I have not been able to keep up with the chat because there's been so much wonderful, beautiful conversation between you all. That's why I love doing the show. We're building a community. We're building a group of people here who are having a really good time with each other, and it's fun. Anyways, as long as all goes according to plan, I will have a Patreon show this afternoon at 4:30. If you're not part of that, it's scrolling along the bottom of the screen or a cheer. It's also linked in the description of the video. It's $5 a month. It's where I can talk about things and be very, very, very open and honest with truthful information around different subjects that you just can't say on a regular show. I want to keep this show intact for crypto information or stuff like this so that you guys can get this type of really good information and news. That one, I don't care if they burn it down. I'll just rebuild it. I'll just rebuild it, and I'll rebuild it. Because we have Patreon in there. You guys are already part of that. I just have to rework the plumbing if anything happens. It's not that big of a deal. On this part of the thing here, though, reworking the plumbing is like rebuilding a house. It's a little bit different. So anyways, with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. You guys have a wonderful and blessed afternoon. I will see you at 4:30 Eastern, as long as all goes according to plan. You all be blessed. Take it easy.